Welcome Ruck and Roll rugby fans. Today we're talking about the new global rugby workload rules. When Springbok coach Rassie was asked about the shape of the game, he made one thing crystal clear. We'd love to see the physical confrontation stay physical and not become too technical. We're happy to adapt, but the game mustn't lose its edge. Classic Rassie, blunt, practical. He doesn't want rugby turned into touch. He wants clear rules, fair officiating, and a game where collisions still matter. Elite players are now bound by a strict workload code. 30 full games per season max, even 1 minute counts as a game. No more than 6 consecutive match weeks before a rest week. A 5-week off season with 0 rugby, 1 week off after any international window, and 12 weeks per year of non-contact training, so not even full tackling in practice. These guidelines are meant to protect players from burnout, concussions, and career-shortening overuse. The IRP, led by former All Black Conrad Smith, says it's all about long-term health and performance, not just player protection, but better rugby through smarter scheduling. Sounds great in theory, but in practice, it's going to shake up how every top nation builds and uses its squads. World Rugby Chair Brett Robinson said they want to make rugby sustainable, physically and financially. They're focusing on player welfare and load management, more consistent officiating with tech support, and making the game faster, clear, but still exciting. So, all good ideas, but when you tell coaches they can't use their best 23 for more than 30 games a year, suddenly that sustainability becomes a selection nightmare. Rassie's response: physicality must stay. But here's the kicker: the new workload limits will force him and every coach to spread minutes around. And that's where Rassie's long-term vision might pay off big time. Why the Springboks might actually benefit. See, Rassie's been planning for this kind of environment for years. Since returning as head coach, he's made depth the heart of the Springbok strategy. Think about it. In 2023 and 2024, South Africa ran 2 near test squads simultaneously. He tested over 60 players in top-level matches. The A-team and B-team system became a Bok trademark. Even their bench split the famous 7-1 shows how he manages physical load creatively. Now, compare that to a team like New Zealand or Ireland, who rely heavily on a core group of 23 players for most of the season. When those players hit the 30-match cap or need enforced rest weeks, their coaches will be scrambling to plug gaps. South Africa, not so much. They've got an entire depth chart of world-class forwards, interchangeable backs. Even if a Khaleesi, Etzebeth or Pollard must rest, Rassie can rotate without losing identity or power. That's the genius of his setup. Every player knows the system, understands the roles, and can slot in without derailing the team. This is where the Springboks player pool size and structure becomes a competitive advantage. They have a massive domestic base across URC and Currie Cup. Dozens of South Africans play abroad in France, Japan and England, all eligible if managed right. Rassie's centralized data and communication setup keeps tabs on load and form for all of them. So while other coaches are forced to rest half their squad and risk dropping results, South Africa can roll out a second XV that's still terrifyingly good. What this means for the rest of rugby. For smaller nations like Japan, Scotland or Fiji, this could be brutal. Their player pools are thinner, their league shorter, and their test players often carry the entire load of both club and country. Johan Ackerman, the Bulls coach, has already warned this could strain squads, especially in countries where competitions overlap. If top players are forced to rest, domestic teams could lose key stars right in playoff runs. The bigger picture. In short, these new laws are meant to protect the players, but they'll also reshape rugby strategy. Teams will now need smarter player rotation systems, real squad depth, not just 23 players but 35 plus, and far better collaboration between clubs and unions, and no one's more ready for that than Rassie Erasmus. His entire philosophy, anyone in green must be ready to play tomorrow, now looks prophetic. If the Springboks handle this right, they could be the first team to turn welfare rules into a competitive weapon. It's no longer just about who hits hardest, it's about who manages load, rotation, and recovery the smartest. And when it comes to planning ahead, let's be honest, Rassie's probably already drawn that plan up on a whiteboard somewhere. So what do you think? Will these workload limits make rugby safer or too soft? And is Rassie right to stick with physicality while others go technical? Drop your thoughts below, because this might just be the biggest change to professional rugby since the dawn of professionalism. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, guys. If you like what I'm doing, I don't think anyone else does it. And the way I present my videos, if you enjoy that, hit the subscribe button and I'll thank you and see you in the next one. Bye.